everybody, it's Brent from My Backyard. The fishing seasons are starting to wind down. We might have a couple of salmon trips, maybe, and I'm sure we're going to do a little bit of crabbing in the winter, but it's that time of the year when we settle into the house for the winter and we make some of our favorite comfort food. So today I'm going to go over some Weber Grill chicken wings. You can do these in any charcoal grill or any place. Really, you could do this in the oven at about 450, because that's what I'm going to set my grill up on offset heat, which we'll cover a little bit later. But right now we're going to prep our wings. I've got a dozen whole wings, about 4 pounds total, and so we're going to separate these, and then we're going to put them in a dry brine overnight. I know it's going to seem a little weird, but I've op tested this and it works great. So let's break these wings apart. First thing, the wing has 3 sections to it: the tip, the centerpiece, and then the drumette. So what I do is there's a joint between each of the 3 pieces. I bend it towards the joint and cut in, and I look for where the bones are connected together and just cut that out. Discard the tip. Same thing on the inside, and it's that simple. Now get some of the tools out of the way. So again, bend the tip in. You'll feel that natural joint. Might cut a little bit of bone, won't hurt. It's good to have a sharp knife though. And there we go, it's that simple. So I'm going to put my wing sections in this other bowl here. I'll get this all done and then we'll walk you through the brining part. Okay, I've finished cutting up my wing sections. I have the flats and the drumettes in here, and I'm going to discard the tips over here. I'm going to dry brine these for several hours. I am having some friends over tomorrow, so a big chunk of these I'm going to save for tomorrow. So I'm actually going to dry brine these overnight. And it seems odd and it really seems gummy when you pull them out of the brine the next day. But once you start cooking them and you oil them up and you see them crisp up, trust me, it works and you're going to see it. So it's 10:30 in the morning here on Saturday. Later on today, I'm going to cook a good portion of these up. And I have a sauce that we're going to toss them in, a buffalo sauce. It's really good. I'll show you how to make. But the dry brine is 3 tablespoons baking powder, 3 tablespoons flour, and I add 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper because I like the extra heat. I don't think you really need it because the buffalo sauce is pretty good, but I figure it can't hurt, add more pepper. And that's for a 4-pound package of wings. I think that's about right. I've done this before. So again, that's 3 tablespoons of baking powder, 3 tablespoons of flour, and anything else you would like to add. You don't really need to, but I throw some cayenne in there. So I'm going to dump this in the bag after I put some wings in there. And again, I like to brine them dry in the fridge in this powder for a whole day, but today we'll take out about half this bag and we'll fry a setup for you just so you can see, or actually barbecue them up. This is going to be done on the Weber. We're going to use indirect heat. You can do it on any grill. We'll get to that later as we're cooking it. I'll explain the kind of the concept of it. So let me wash my hands up here, as you often do working with chicken. And we take our dry brine and we dump it in. Leave plenty of air in the bag to shake it up. And we're going to roll these around so we get a good coating on everything, and then I'll put them in the fridge and come back in a few hours or tomorrow for some of them. I'll clean up here. And that's it, folks. That's step 1, and these are some of the best, crispiest, tastiest wings you're ever going to have. So, let's throw these in the fridge and we'll be back with a little bit more later. The wings have been in the refrigerator for about 6 hours with that dry brine on them, so let me pull them out here. And again, this was 4 pounds of wings cut up into probably 3 pounds of wing sections, which are the flat and the drumette. I'm going to use about half of these for this demo. And while these are cooking, which we'll get out to the grill here in a minute, I'm going to make my sauce that I'm going to toss them in, which is going to be a 1/4 cup Frank's Red Hot, a tablespoon of honey, a tablespoon of Worcester, excuse me. I'm going to squeeze 1 lemon into it. And these 4 main ingredients I will simmer on the grill next to the wings once they're almost done. And then as that cooks down a little, I'll throw a half a stick of butter on it. I've also got a bit of ranch, some veggies to eat with the wings here when they're done. So let's go outside and take a look at the grill and we'll get that part going. So I've got my Weber set up here. I've got a chimney and I have a wax cube, a Weber wax cube. These things come in real handy for these chimneys. They're cheap. Weber sells them. You can get them at Wally World or wherever they sell briquettes usually. So I have my low and slow setting off to the side, but I'm not going to put water in the trough. What I'm using the low and slow for is I want to have it hot, but I want to have it indirect. So I'm just going to separate the briquettes from where I'm doing my cooking. If you don't have a low and slow, you could use bricks. Stack up a couple bricks so that you get a lot of heat from your briquettes on one side and the meat will cook on the other. We're going to cook the meat on 10 minutes per side. Then when we flip it, we're going to spray some oil over it and you'll see it start to crisp the skin up. We'll spray oil on both sides, and so it'll be about a 30-minute cook. They'll be done. During that, once they're done at the end of 30 minutes, I'll come out here, we'll pop the top. I'll put the sauce on to start reducing a little bit. We'll toss the wings in the sauce and we'll be eating some wings. Once you see flames coming out of the top of the chimney, it's a pretty good sign that the briquettes are done. So I'm going to go ahead and spread them out here. And to help clean off my grill, we're going to put the dirty side over the heat. We're going to put the lid on until this thing reads about over 400 degrees. Then we'll throw the first round of chicken. It got up to 400 degrees, so I'm gonna scrape this. We're gonna rotate. Now I've been cooked clean half of the grill around. And we're gonna load it up with some chicken. So this is just for me tonight. I'm gonna make this much and half of this tomorrow for a little soiree I'm throwing. So you want to take this, and you can see it's kind of gummy, and it doesn't cover 100%, but you're going to see this does a really good job. So what we want to do is we want to put the chicken up next to the edge of the low and slow, close to the edge, but not full Lady Gaga. We want to cook this on a high indirect heat without burning. So this is just going to be for dinner for me. So that's probably going to do it. The rest of these I'll do tomorrow with the other half. So like I said, 10 minutes. Now I'm going to put my vent on the far side of the briquettes so that heat travels across. And here in 10 minutes we'll come out, we'll flip them, then we'll come out again and we'll spray them with some oil. Midpoint turning of the meat, and you can see it's drying. We're getting some good grill marks We're going to do 10 minutes on this other side, and then trust me, when we grease it up with the cooking spray, it's going to crisp right up. Alright, our second 10-minute cook is done, and the wings are looking pretty good. You can see the white, they're kind of dried out like they would be in a air fryer. So now we're going to spray both sides with oil, and we're going to give them 20 more minutes. I got a little canola oil here, and this is going to give them that perfect coating. A little hot over there. Here we go. 10 more minutes, and as long as they look good, I'll bring out the sauce, and we're going to toss them in and start cooking that down. Alright, it's been 30 minutes total cooking time. My thermometer right now reads 550 degrees. These need a little bit more. I'm going to flip them, let them cook a little bit more. Give them another 10 minutes, then we'll be out here. And everybody knows dark meat chicken is done at 165, but with these we're overcooking them. We know we are. These are going to be upwards of 200 degrees. So with dark meat, you can get away with overcooking without drying it out way more than you can with a breast. So let's give these a few more minutes, and then we'll have some. All right, let's take a look. Another few minutes, and as you can see, I think these are about perfect. So I'm going to go grab the sauce, the tossing sauce, bring it out and start boiling that down while these finish. And I may as well have a beer while I'm at it. So what we're going to do here, I got this little grill saucepan kit. We're going to take our cover off. There we go. Set this over the coals over here. We'll do it over here. Get a little warmer. This will be at the end once our sauce has reduced a little bit. So here we go. So we're going to let this cook up, or cook down as it were. Then we'll pull these out. We're going to leave this open. They'll stay nice and warm, but they're essentially done at this point. You can see they've got a good crust on them, and they're going to really take this Frank's Red Hot and the other ingredients. Really going to absorb that. It's going to be a really good meal we got here. So let's get this cooked down, have a beer or two in the process, and then we'll take it inside and finish. We're cooking down the sauce here. As you can see, it's boiling pretty good. I'm still getting good heat behind the low and slow. These are staying nice and warm. I've got them kind of pushed up to the edge here. Once this drops down about a 1/4 inch or so in this little saucepan, I'm going to drop in a stick of butter. And this is going to add to the flavor of the sauce, and it's going to help it adhere when we do the toss. So we're going to have a lot more sauce than we need in all likelihood, but we are definitely getting close to the end here. This sauce has boiled down a bit. We're going to melt this butter. The handle is still fairly cool to the touch, definitely able for me to catch it. I'm just going to get rid of that there. Once this butter melts down, it's all over but bringing it inside and eating. And that's really good Coors Light. I think that was maybe made Tuesday. We'll just take a little look here, and you'll see with this low and slow how it completely separates the heat. This is completely cool to the touch. I can grab the grates. This would burn the hell out of me. So, good tool to have. But like I said, if you don't have one, some bricks work fine. Although I can do a large roast on this by putting water in the trough, and that'll hold a lot of the heat back. But for this, I wanted it to be hot throughout, so we made a swirling 450 degree oven. So we're getting real close to our butter being melted here, and you can see this one, how good that looks right there. Tasty, I assure you. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull these off, put them in the bowl, and then we'll pour a little sauce on them, toss them up a bit. Here we go. Brewski, gotta get a Washington football team cup holder. The sauce is nice and hot. We're gonna stir a little bit of that in. Toss it up. Get it coated throughout. There we go. Set it on our plate here. And that coating just soaks that sauce up. Got some ranch with some celery and carrots and a beer on a coaster, not a cup holder, like I said. So, what do you say we try one of these out? Get a little tray for Bones. And here we go. Juicy, crispy outside, completely done but juicy. Good heat, not overpowering. And I just took these off the grill. These are fantastic. I'm gonna make 3 times as much tomorrow for my friends. I'll probably start tweaking on the recipe a little bit, get away from buffalo, maybe try like some honey barbecue or something. But so marinate the chicken wings in a baking powder and flour mix. I threw in cayenne pepper. The baking powder helps give it the crispness, especially when you put oil on it. We let it sit in that dry brine for 6 hours today. The ones tomorrow I'll have for a full day. Took them out, started up the grill. We wanted to indirect 450 degree-ish heat, 10 minutes per side. After 20 minutes, we sprayed both sides with cooking oil. That starts that crisping process. And then we boiled down our buffalo sauce, threw some butter there at the end to help act as a binder, give it a little more flavor, and these things are beautiful.